Howdy there, gentlemen. I'm back. I've been a little bit busy as of late, last week or two. Been working a lot, but I've been thinking a lot too. And I was thinking about how there's there's this such a serious lack of good media in this country anymore. We used to be the font of culture in this world. Truly, the font of culture. I mean, it was exported everywhere. Everybody loved, Coca-Cola, Hollywood. I mean, it was just, I mean, even communist Russia. It was, they even love it, and heavy metal and all. It was such a big deal. And truly, the reason why I think it was a font, we were such a font, was because we told great stories. We told great stories. Our story is a great story. Just the American story is such a great story, and all the small stories that make that main story up. Like someone famous once said, families are always rising and falling in America. There's you have old money and you have new money. Old money. You see all the time where a family falls from grace, or old money falls from grace, and then we have new money, big tech, and so fortunes are always rising and falling in America. But we used to tell such great stories. I mean, incredible stories. Gone with the Wind, the Goodbye, Mr. Chips, um, The Searchers, The Maltese Falcon, Casablanca. Just amazing stories. Amazing. We had the best storytellers. The best ever. The best storytellers that have ever lived. Truly. Truly. Um, whether it be producers, writers, directors, we've got the greats. We've got the greats. But in the last since 2000, I would say, because I feel like the 90s was still a great decade for media. You had Jerry Maguire, you had Titanic, you had a lot of great stuff came out in the 90s. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. But seems like after the 90s, when we got in the 2000s, it has just been I mean, it was okay in the early 2000s, but it was declining. But it has just been such a steep, steep decline since 2010, maybe, I guess, 2005, 2010. Such a steep decline in our storytelling. And I can't help but think that because we told such great stories in our movies, I feel like that contributed to American dynamism. That contributed to American greatness, American success, because those stories that we told, they were inspiring stories. They were inspiring. They inspired us to do great things. They inspired us to go to the moon. They inspired us to win World War II. And they are not inspiring us anymore, ladies and gentlemen. They're not doing it. They're not inspiring us anymore. Not most of us anyway. They're trying to inspire women to be girl bosses, and to try and be men. They're inspiring, or trying to inspire women to take over and be men, and they're basically feel like they're trying to inspire women to take the place of men, and they're trying to get men to just hide, to just go ahead and exit stage left. Go ahead and be quiet, sit in the corner, don't talk. We don't want to hear what you have to say. Just sit in the corner. Let it's our turn supposedly, but it's that's not the way to look at it at all. We're all humans, and what one generation did, I don't have any responsibility for. I didn't do that. You know what I mean? But they get so lathered up over history that they. But anyway, we're not being inspired anymore, just straight up. And people wonder why our youth, they're not doing anything, they're not going out and achieving. And people say, oh, they're late. No, it's not because they're lazy. It's not because they're lazy. That is a cop out. That is a cop out of an answer. The older generations are failing to inspire them, are failing to get them excited for over life. Get them to want to participate. They have not made it appealing. They haven't made it appealing. I feel like it's kind of the whole, maybe the economy or the whole the American dream or an opportunity in America. It has shriveled. They have bled it dry, and it's no longer appealing anymore because at one point you could have a big family, 5 kids, a wife, 5 kids and a house, and be and work in a warehouse, stamping out steel parts. Now, I mean, that's not in most people's reach. It's not in their reach. It's not even in their. It's not even in the realm of possibility for them anymore. And and because media serves a great purpose. It's supposed to be, it's supposed to be a teacher. It's supposed to be inspiration. Many things. We don't have the oral tradition of stories anymore, so we kind of rely, and stories is what motivates people. It's what makes people want to get up and go start a business. Get up and go do something other people have never done. They see it in movies. Like people wanted to be astronauts because what they saw in the movies. It wasn't because they saw rockets going up. People wanted to go, and of course, politicians and movie makers know the power of media, and they used media as propaganda in World War II to inspire the young men of America to go lay down their lives for in a war. I mean, they had to inspire them to do that. And they really didn't even need to draft. It was considered awful luck if you couldn't join the army. If you were what is it, F1, if you were or F4, I think it was. If you weren't qualified to be in the army, if you had flat feet, if you had too low of an IQ, or you weren't smart enough, or you had some sort of a physical malady or a mental issue, you didn't get to go. And in Vietnam, that was considered like, oh, thank God, I have flat feet, I don't have to go. In World War II, not so. That was the last thing you wanted. Everybody wanted a piece of that action. And not only that, women thought, like you were expected to go fight, and if you didn't, American women, would wonder why. What's wrong with this guy? Every other able-bodied man went. Why didn't this guy go? So, but they were inspired, and the movies of the past, so inspiring, amazing pictures. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Oh my God. How many people were inspired to do marine biology because of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea? Like, honestly, because of that. That was the first movie that had underwater footage. Nobody had done that before. What an inspiration that was. The music, I mean, I guarantee you it inspired maybe Jacques Cousteau. It's just, these movies inspired people to go out and to achieve, to get stuff done, to invent. And we're not being told to do that anymore. We're not being told, hey, come do, come participate, come achieve, come invent. No, that's not what we're being told anymore. Like, in a perfect example, I saw a commercial on Amazon Prime TV of Mario, Super Mario Bros. The movie. Okay, guess how the commercial went? I've never seen the movie, but from the commercial, Princess Peach is the hero. Princess Peach is the hero. Princess Peach is the hero. I mean, if you've ever played Mario, that is the antithesis of Mario. Like, Mario is the comic relief. He's the fool. He's the jester. He's the moron. And the toads, the little toadstools and stuff, they're the cute ones. But Princess Peach is like the badass, like she's like suiting up in like a leather jumpsuit with like a sword. We've got to stop Bowser. Why are you trying to inspire women to be men? And you're trying to discourage men. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? When literally you have two different people, two different categories of humans. One category is good at certain things and not at others. Same with the other one. Different things, but good at some things, not at other things. They both have their weaknesses and their strengths. So you discourage the one from doing its strengths, and you encourage the one to ignore their strengths and to pursue their weaknesses. Does that make any sense whatsoever? Because that is a microcosm, that movie. That is what our elites, what these all these the people that run Hollywood, the people that run academia, schools, the people that run the government, typically a lot of governments anyway, local governments and stuff, the people that more or less are in control of major institutions, their idea of the way forward is to inspire more women to be leaders and to convince more men to go sit and play video games in their basement. Unless the women start complaining that there aren't enough good men for them to marry, so that, then they will start. They will go at that. They will go back to the man in the basement, and they will scold him. Why are you not achieving? Why are you not rich? Why are you not everything these females want you to be? Nobody stops and thinks to ask, why are these females not what the men want them to be? Nobody asks that question. But they ask the question every time I turn around. Why are men not, why are men not, are they not achieving? Why are they not doing good? Why are they not stepping up so that women can have good lives? It's totally gynocentric. It's totally through a woman's perspective. They don't care about the man unless by virtue to make the woman's life better. That's when they care about men. They don't care about men until it starts affecting women. Like like the famous meme, United States declares war on Germany. What is it? Research says most affected. That's the state of our journalism today. America, America declares war on Germany. Women most affected. Like, what? Really? Where do you live? On what planet do you live? Are you in reality here? You know, women most affected, really, because I would imagine dying is more of an effect on your life than not having a spouse or your husband going away. You know, like what? What? That's they. I mean, if World War II happened today, they would say this is such a travesty that all these women can't find men because so many men died in the war. They don't give a damn about the men. All they care about is the poor women. I mean, it's getting ludicrous. It's getting ridiculous. The Princess Peach thing. The whole point of Mario is saving Peach from Bowser. He has kidnapped her. She must be rescued. How is she the hero of the movie when she's supposed to be kidnapped? Like it's incredible. It's incredidible. And you know, I get Luigi was the comic relief. He was at one point. You know, he was. He's the funny. Oh no, you know, Luigi was like the comic relief. You know, he really was. He was the goofy one. Mario's brother, the goofy one. Mario was the one that like got stuff done. He took the risks to save the damsel. And it's just totally they have basically, you know, messed with all the levers and the controls so much that we can't get it back to the good settings. We just have to scrap the old stuff, scrap it all, and start anew, because they have just totally destroyed. I mean, it just seems to me like they have totally destroyed the culture of this country. They've destroyed it. It's a culture of death now. We don't have kids. I mean, it's depressing. You know, it's depressing. It's dejecting. I mean, it's a lot of things. You know, it's really disheartening, to be honest. Like, is there really even any point in really, you know, kicking in anymore? Like, you know, is there a point? Do you know? Like, I hear people talking about, you know, like about people aren't having kids, and I'm like not so convinced that is a bad thing so much. I'm a humanist, but it's like, you know, if we're not gonna if going forward we're not gonna be if everybody isn't gonna have equal opportunity and everybody isn't gonna be treated equal, is it worthwhile? You know, I mean, I'm not so sure anymore. You know, if it is worthwhile. I mean, it's so crazy to me. It's so crazy how things have gotten, and they just keep getting worse. It seems like, and it's like we're taking crazy pills here. You know, they've made it really hard on a lot of people. You know, and the mixed mess. And, you know, at one point, movies help people navigate. You know, they asked pertinent questions. You know, questions that are being asked in the present. You know, in the 60s, 70s, or, you know, like in the 60s, they were asking social questions in the movies. Movies about civil rights. You know, like guess who's coming, or guess who's coming for dinner. That movie with Spencer Tracy, where a white girl brings home Sidney Poitier, the black actor, as her, you know, she wants to marry this guy, and Katharine Hepburn was in it. That was a movie that was asking questions about the way things were going to be in the future, the way things were the questions that people were asking. The movie was trying to answer them, trying to navigate culture and society, help us navigate. We don't have that anymore. We have all this new stuff, technology, social media. Nobody has a clue how to navigate anything anymore because the movies don't do it. The movies don't do it. Media doesn't do it. You know, no, these young kids, they've never had a kiss. They've never been on a date with a girl. Some of these girls have never been on a date with a man. They get into their mid-20s, they've never been on a date. Okay, you know, it's and it's because there's no, you know, a lot of kids, you know, like, I know I've heard this many times, so I know other people have, that a lot of people in the 40s, 50s, 60s, they would spend like all day, all their day that they weren't in school, they would spend in the movie theater. Yeah, they would spend it in the movie theater. And they would say, movies raised me. Humphrey Bogart raised me. Movies raised me. And that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of people don't have a father, or they don't have both parents, or they're struggling, or they're missing something. And movies used to bridge the gap, or media, books, movies, authors, they used to bridge the gap. They're not bridging the gap anymore. They're not bridging the gap. So people are listless. They're just drifting along like and doing nothing. They don't know what to do. We don't have. We're not our overlords, more or less. The people up top that are in control of the institutions are failing. Are failing our youth. They're failing. They've done a miserable job. Since the start of the new century, they have done nothing but fail. And I'm ready for a change. I'm so ready for the 20th century status quo to be done and over with. I'm ready. I am. That's the truth.